Good evening, everyone. It's June 17, 2014. Notice of this meeting stating date, place, and time has been disseminated as required under the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975. This meeting is called to order. Mr. Clerk, please conduct the prayer and flag salute.
God of the universe, look thou with favor upon these here assembled, and bestow thy guidance upon the members of the governing body in their deliberations. This we ask in thy name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. In the event of emergency, the proper method for exiting the council chambers is through the 3 doors in the rear of the room. Occupants should proceed down the staircase, out the front door, move away from the area of the front steps. Any members of the public wishing to speak during the public comments at the end of the meeting, please sign in on the white sheets provided in front of the room. Please turn off all cell phones and place them on vibrate. If you must take a cell phone call, please leave the chamber to do so. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Colbus.
Here.
Byer.
Here.
Brown. Armstead.
Here. Mr. Burns is excused.
Cosby Hurling.
Here.
Sadowski.
Here.
Midachinko.
Here.
Yamakaitis.
Here.
Medina.
Here.
Kaczynski.
Here.
Mr. Moore.
Here. We'll move it to approval of the minutes for May 20th, 2014.
Council President, I make a motion to approve the minutes from our regular meeting of May 20th, 2014, and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus.
Yes.
Byer.
Yes.
Armstead.
Abstain.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Midachinko.
Yes.
Yamakaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Kaczynski.
Abstain.
Mr. Moore.
Yes. We'll move into ordinances. This is a date and time established for a public hearing on ordinances.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. And we tabled ordinance tabled at the May 20th, 2014 meeting. 5824 will remain tabled. So we'll move into 5835, Mr. Clerk.
Bond ordinances approving an appropriation of $84,000 for the acquisition of recording equipment for the police department and authorizing the issuance of $79,800 in bonds or notes to finance part of the cost.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have we received any written communication?
No, sir.
Is there anyone in chambers wishes to be heard on the ordinance? Motion, please. A motion for 5835?
Mr. Council President, I move 5835 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus.
Yes.
Byer.
Yes.
Armstead.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Midachinko.
Yes.
Yamakaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Kaczynski.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes. Mr. Clerk, 5836, please.
Bond ordinance authorizing removal of underground storage tanks and remediation at 1025 John Street for the engineering department and providing an appropriation of $100,000 and authorizing the issuance of $95,000 in bonds or notes to finance part of the cost.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have we received any written communication?
No, sir.
Does anyone in the chambers wish to be heard on the ordinance? Motion, please.
Council President, I ask the hearing be closed and ordinance 58-36 be adopted, and I seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus.
Yes.
Byer.
Yes.
Armstead.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Midachinko.
Yes.
Yamakaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Kaczynski.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes. Mr. Clerk, 5837, please.
Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $225,000 for the East Blanky Street parking improvements and authorizing the issuance of $213,750 in bonds or notes to finance part of the cost.
Mr. Clerk, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have we received any written communication?
No, sir.
Is there anyone in the chambers wish to be heard on the ordinance? Motion, please.
Mr. President, I ask that the hearing be closed, and we move ordinance 5837, and I seek a second.
Seconded.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Medichenko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
yes,
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Mr. Clerk, 5838, please.
Bond ordinance appropriating $522,500 for the resurfacing of various streets and authorizing the issuance of $258,875 in bonds or notes to finance part of the cost thereof.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted, sir?
Yes, sir.
Have you received any written communication?
No, sir.
Is there anyone in the chambers wish to be heard on the ordinance? Motion, please.
Council President, I ask that the hearing be closed and ordinance 5838 be adopted, and I seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Medichenko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
yes,
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Mr. Clerk, 5839, please.
Bond ordinance appropriating $605,000 for the resurfacing of various streets and authorizing the issuance of $574,750 in bonds or notes to finance part of the cost thereof.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have you received any written communication?
No, sir.
Does anyone in the chambers wish to be heard on the ordinance? Motion, please.
Council President, I ask the hearing be closed, ordinance 58-39 be adopted, and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Medichenko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
yes,
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Mr. Clerk, 5840, please.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7, Traffic, Section 7-42, Parking, Fines, 7-42.1, Fines Established.
Thank you. Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have we received any written communication?
No, sir.
Does anyone in the chambers wish to be heard on the ordinance? Motion, please.
Yes, Mr. President, I move that the hearing be closed and ordinance 5840 be adopted and request a second. Second.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Medichenko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
yes,
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Mr. Clerk, 5841.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 10, Building and Housing, an ordinance entitled, an ordinance adopting and enacting the previous general ordinances of the City of Linden, 1999, passed November 23, 1999, and approved November 24, 1999, and as amended and supplemented.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have you received any written communication?
No, sir.
Is there anyone in the chamber who wishes to be heard on the ordinance? Seeing none, yes, would you come up? State your name. Is the microphone on there?
Mr. Pepe, you have pushed the button.
Red button?
Marcia Pepe, Bernard Avenue, Linden.
Thank you.
What does actually mean? It's like,
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
what does this mean? I mean, it doesn't really say anything what's being passed.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Frank?
5841? Oh.
Frank,
Is this,
Sure.
could you explain that one?
no. Oh, okay, this is mine
Oh,
to
you
read
got it?
at my
Yes.
convenience.
Yes.
Oh, I appreciate that, thank you.
Further comments from members in the chamber? Seeing none, I ask for a motion.
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to see that this ordinance be closed and 58 58-41 be adopted and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbas?
Yes.
Dwyer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minichinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Mr. Clerk, 5842, please.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7, Traffic, Section 7-33, Handicap Parking Regulations, 7-33.1A, Handicap Parking on Street. Add 518 Monmouth Avenue, one space.
Thank you. Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have we received any written communication?
No, sir.
Does anyone in the chambers wish to be heard on the ordinance? Motion, please.
Yes, Mr. President, I move that the hearing be closed and ordinance number 5842 be adopted and request a second.
Second.
It was 5843. Mr. 42, I'm sorry. Mr. Kalbas?
Yes.
Dwyer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minichinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Mr. Clerk, 5844.
43. And
43.
that was my fault, sir. An ordinance to amend an ordinance entitled, an ordinance establishing a schedule of titles, salary ranges, and regulations for maintaining the classification and salary standardization plan of all employees of the City of Linden, passed August 15, 1995, and approved August 16, 1995. Schedule 5-11-4.
Thank you. Had the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have we received any written communication?
No, sir.
Does anyone in the chambers wish to be heard on the ordinance? Motion, please.
Yes, Council President. I ask for the adoption of ordinance 58-43 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbas?
Yes.
Dwyer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minichinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. We'll move into 5845 because 44 was removed.
Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $60,000 for construction of speed humps on various roads for and by the City of Linden, and authorizing the issuance of $57,000 in bonds or notes to finance part of the cost.
Mr. Clerk, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have we received any written communication?
No, sir.
Does anyone in the chambers wish to be heard on the ordinance? May I have a motion, please?
Yes, Council President. I ask for the introduction of 58-45 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbas?
Yes.
Dwyer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minichinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Mr. Clerk, 5846, please.
Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $605,000 for the acquisition of property located at 1130 East St. George's Avenue, and authorizing the issuance of $574,750 in bonds or notes.
Thank you. Has the ordinance properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have we received any written communication?
No, sir.
Is there anyone in the chamber who wishes to be heard on the ordinance? May I have a motion, please?
Mr. Council President, I move that the hearing be closed and ordinance number 5846 be adopted and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbas?
Yes.
Dwyer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
No.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minichinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
No.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
No. 5847, please.
Bond ordinance amending bond ordinance number 55-12 to provide an increase in the appropriation to $1,610,000 debt authorization to $1,529,500,000, down payment to $80,500, and Section 20 cost to $161,000 relative to the Linden landfill.
Mr. Clerk, has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Have you received any written communication?
No, sir.
Is anyone in the chambers who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? Motion, please.
Yes, Mr. President, I move the hearing be closed and ordinance 5847 be adopted and request a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbas?
Yes.
Dwyer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Minichinko.
Yes.
Yemakaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Kaczynski.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes. We're going to move into a presentation. I'm going to ask Councilwoman Cosby Hurling and the mayor to step down and recognize the actions for Jeremy Statham.
Not bad, Council President.
Did you need a pencil to fix that one?
Hey, Rita. Hey, I'm good. How you doing?
So this evening, we are here to recognize and give our appreciation to my neighbor, Jeremy Statham, who on March 27th unselfishly almost went into a burning building to save a young boy, 4 years old. And we wanted to just acknowledge you and say thank you. And we have a resolution here which is going to hopefully be approved. It's going to be approved by the entire council. But I just wanted to say that when we see something, we always hear say something or do something, and this young man did that unselfishly. He didn't have to run back into where the flames are coming out. I know that LaTanya and Tariq and little Jaden's sisters, they are so happy that their brother was okay and that you were there. And as a community, we are just grateful that we had a young man who was selfless, and he went in and he did what needed to be done to save a young boy. So I just want to acknowledge you. The council wants to acknowledge you. We want to say thank you, and the mayor's going to read our resolution. Good job.
It's always an honor to recognize somebody that risks their own safety to help others in need, and that's what Jeremy did on that evening on March 27th when he led a boy from a burning building and probably saved his life. So Jeremy, on behalf of all of governing body, I'd like to read this resolution recognizing your heroic actions. Whereas on March 27, 2014, a 3-alarm fire broke out at 1228 East St. George's Avenue that would eventually require 80 firefighters to bring under control and leave 16 people homeless. And whereas Jeremy Statham, a resident of Union Street, observed a young boy, Jadine Gonzalez, trapped by the spreading fire, and without regard to his own safety, scaled the burning structure's fire escape and brought Jadine Gonzalez to safety. And whereas tennis great Arthur Ashe stated, true heroism is remarkably sober, very undramatic. It is not the urge to surpass all others at whatever cost, but the urge to serve others at whatever cost. And whereas the actions of Jeremy Statham is such a hero, and whereas Jeremy, a recent graduate of Linden High School, has dedicated himself to many other community activities, including being a volunteer coach to help keep young males off of the streets. And whereas Jeremy is also known as an outstanding musician and is currently the music director and producer for a young gospel group called Andrew Potts and Lamal. And whereas the mayor and city council of the city of Linden wishes to recognize the heroism of Jeremy Statham and thank him for his quick action in rescuing Jardine Gonzalez from the fire. Now therefore be it resolved by the mayor and council of the city of Linden that they do hereby recognize Jeremy Statham's act of heroism in recognizing Jardine, in rescuing Jardine from the burning residence, and thank him on behalf of all the residents of Linden. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be placed in the minutes of the city of Linden to mark it in perpetuity, the heroism of Jeremy, and a copy be presented to him to mark this event. Signed, Council President James Moore, Mayor Rich Gerbunka. Again, it's truly an honor, and thank you for your heroism. Come over here.
Yes, you can. Before Jeremy speaks, I just want to acknowledge his parents and his brother here, and they are family of service, and I'm just so glad you guys are my neighbors and you look out for us. And you taught him well. Now you say something.
I just want to say thank you to the mayor and the councilwoman for everything. I know, you know, if it was anybody else that would have seen the boy, they would have done the same thing I did. Because, you know, there are a lot of good people in this world and in the city of Linden. And, you know, just me and my family, we just happen to be one of them, you know. My brother being, you know, a cop now, so, you know, we just want to do the right thing, you know. So that's really it.
Thank you very much. We'll move into the consent agenda. All items listed with asterisk are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless council members or citizens so request. In the event an item will be removed from the general order of business and considered in normal sequence in the agenda. We have items 1 through 11. Does anyone wish to remove an item? Seeing none, I ask for a motion.
I move for approval of consent items 1 through 11 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Medichinko?
Yes.
Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore? Thank you.
Yes. We'll move into committee reports for members of the governing body. Councilman Colibus.
Thank you, Council President. I have a brief report from the Engineering Committee. Last year, Spectra Energy gave us a check in the amount of $215,000 to repave sections of Lower Road. Subsequently, Weldon Asphalt Company requested we extend the project to include 2 sections of deteriorated Marsh Dock Road. All the work was done on it was done on Saturday because of the lower traffic volumes. Weldon supplied 128 tons of asphalt and paid all overtime costs associated with opening their facility on June 7, 2014. I therefore make a motion to accept a donation in the amount of $10,200 from Welding Asphalt for the foregoing work, and I seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Medichinko?
Yes.
Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Thank you. For First Ward residents, I've received numerous requests about tree trimmings or trees coming down. I was assured by DPW that every request that I passed along is on the list. Right now, they are in the 5th and 6th Ward, I believe, so when they are done going through all the wards, they'll be back. On another note, I recently noticed on Trash Day, which was in the First Ward, part of the First Ward last week, that residents were putting out their trash way earlier than what the ordinance is accepted. The ordinance on our books is that when the trash day, the earliest you can put it out is the following day at 6 p.m. I noticed people were putting it out on the weekend for a Wednesday pickup. Now, those are quality of life issues because one, we might have scavengers coming up and picking up all the trash and leaving a mess on our streets. And second of all, we leave it out all weekend and going into Wednesday, it's going to be a mess. And just driving around, it doesn't look nice for the whole community. So we talked about it at council tonight, and I believe the mayor is going to notify the parking enforcement that issue warnings, and for people who do not adhere to the ordinance of 6 p.m. To the night before the trash pickup. So with that, I just want to say any resident needs to reach me, they can call my phone at 908-925-5568. Thank you. That concludes my report, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Byer?
Yes, Mr. President, I have an announcement. The Yellow Ribbon Campaign to support the fallen veterans has been postponed till next month's council meeting. In construction code, they issued 159 permits, 16 certificates, and they collected $44,719. And one more thing I have. PSE&G, if you've noticed, we have about 70 streetlights that are out throughout the city. PSE&G set up a new program for our city to submit our out lights through email, and we do that, and they don't get fixed. We submit them again, and they still don't get fixed. Well, it's been like 6 months, and the majority of those lights been out for 6 months, and we threatened to. We're seeking a rebate because we've been paying for services that we haven't been receiving. About 70 streetlights that's been out at $40 a month per light. At 6 months, it adds up to about 10 grand. So we sent an email out. We had a meeting with engineer department, and miraculously, we're going to have results. They sent a supervisor out to start looking and taking notes on how many streetlights and what streetlights need to be replaced. That's the end of my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Armstead?
Yes, Mr. President. I have the following reports. From Finance and Budget Review Committee, approval is requested for the following finance actions. Payment of bills totaling $1,906,918.62. The bills have been signed by the Mayor, Council President, and the Finance Chairman. A detailed check register and vouchers are on file in the clerk's office. I move for approval and request a second.
Second.
Mr. Colobus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Medichinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Enclosed is the Atlantic Coast Fibers LLC check for number 57660 in the amount of $6,314.73. This payment is for commingled recyclables and newspapers that Atlantic Coast picked up at the DPW yard, Linden, during the month of April 2014. I'd like to apologize for not being at last month's meeting. My daughter, Brianna Armstead, was inducted into the National Honor Society, and she gave me specific instructions that I had better be there. So with that, I'm going to say congratulations, Brianna Armstead, on your induction into the National Honor Society. We're all proud of you, and keep up the good work. I'd also like to congratulate Ashley Shoppy and Ashley Theodore. Both are recipients of the Armstead Scholarship Award this year. They'll both be given $500 to attend, to see fit as they need it for their books or whatever they need in college. Last but not least, I'd like to say congratulations to Robert Sadowski on his reelection during the primary, Monty Brooks on being elected to the 4th Ward Council in the primary, Michelle Yamakaitis on her reelection, Gretchen Hickey on being elected in the 10th Ward, and George Alvarez being elected to the council president during the primary. I'd like to also say thanks for those who had the courage enough to put their hat in the ring and run. I've often said that, you know, this is the only place in the world where we do it this way. We have elections, our battles are fought at the polls. One need only turn on the TV and look at all the chaos and confusion throughout the rest of the world. And I say we don't have the best system. I mean, we don't have, it's not a perfect system, but it is the best system in the world. So again, congratulations, and thank you all for participating. I'd like to thank those residents who came out and voted, regardless of who you voted for. We appreciate you coming out. Again, it's the only Only place in the world where we do it. So thank you very much. That concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Cosby Hurley.
Thank you, Council President. From Transportation and Parking, I'm going to submit the monthly financial report from the Division of Transportation and Parking. It includes the collection of parking meters, railroad parking lots, railroad parking permits, and merchant parking permits for the month of May 2014. The grand total is $50,237.29, which is weird because we don't take pennies, but that's there. So that's from Transportation and Parking. And I wanted to give an update from the Recreation, which is part of my Public Property Committee. As we know, school's closing on Friday, and we wanted to let all of the children know that they do have a safe place to go, and it is the Linden Multipurpose Center right now, which is open all day. So the game room is officially opened. We're going to have, in the near future, an official grand opening where parents and children are going to be invited to come in, meet the staff, and do other things. But the game room is officially opened, and certain components like small tables and bookcases and computer games are still yet to come. However, they have a shuffleboard, they have an air hockey, they have books, jump ropes, and the children are welcome to go there. The only restriction is the gymnasium times for certain age groups. Other than that, they're welcome to go to the game room. And the playgrounds are open right now, right, Mr. McDonald's? Spring playgrounds. And they'll be open right after the school ends. And Charles Street Park has been under construction, but with all of the rain that we're getting, it's often stalled. We wanted to have the park up and running by the end of this week, and it's going to rain tonight, so that's probably not going to happen. But just be assured that it's been under construction, it's been in the works, and we will have a new park there. Additionally, we did look to get the necessary adjustments at our Hagel Avenue Park because the cords for some of the swings were a little bit too high, and the little children couldn't get on the swings on their own. So we're looking at making sure the children are comfortable and they are safe. With the safety issue, I have to report, unfortunately, there was an accident today by the Fifth Ward Park. And this area of Dill Avenue and Adams has been a major concern, as is the area of school number 4 on Dill Avenue. So when we introduced this ordinance tonight, which I was pleased to work with Councilman Medina on, it's for the speed humps. It's a traffic calming device. We've talked about it for several years, and now it's finally, hopefully, going to be coming to fruition to keep our children safe in the areas of concern. Adams and Dill is a major concern. We've had accidents, 4 accidents by the Fifth Ward Park last year alone. Unfortunately, the traffic study was done after the summer was over, so it didn't reveal what we all know because we live there. So I just wanted to let the residents in that area know we are looking to make it a little safer. We've added signs and, you know, we have the patrols, but we're just going to try and get speed humps there as well. I think one more thing that I wanted to do. I wanted to formally actually name an ad hoc committee with regards to animal control. I know there are a lot of issues. The committee was formed last month, and it's the ad hoc committee for animal control, and the members are Councilwoman Yamakaitis, Councilman Medina, and Councilman Kozinski. So I'd like to introduce a resolution now just to officially recognize this ad hoc committee, and I seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbas.
Yes.
Byer.
Yes.
Armstead.
Yes.
Cosby Hurley.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Midachinko.
Yes.
Yamakaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Kozinski.
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes, and I'll be naming a chairman this evening.
Okay. And the tree crew is officially in the Fifth Ward. However, they've been moved to different assignments because of staffing issues. So what we have already on record of needing to be trimmed or stumps that need to be taken down, they are aware of it, and right now we're just waiting until we can get the work done. Before I close, I wanted to congratulate everybody who was successful in the primary, and I'm looking forward to November's election, as you are too, I'm sure, Councilman Armstead, and just give my condolences to my friend, the Hudak family, on their loss. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Sadowski, please.
Thank you, Council President. Just a few remarks. Like Mrs. Cosby said, the tree trimming people will be in the 5th and 6th Ward. They have been in the 6th Ward a little. but they've stopped to do other duties. I had a list I've submitted, but if anyone still has any kind of trees that need to be trimmed, please give me a call at 862-0749. That's 862-0749. I will put you on the list and resubmit it again. Tomorrow, we are closing on the deal with Remedia, right next to Sixth School, the buildings that is going up. We will get a $1 million check tomorrow from them. Probably starting at the end of the week, they will start building right there when school ends. So it's a step forward, I think, for Linden. I want to congratulate all the police personnel who are getting pushed up. Too many by name, so please accept my congratulations. Also, while I'm talking about the police and firemen, we had an incident with the fire department. They came, beautiful job. Over the past couple of days, in the Sixth Ward, we had 2 incidents with the police department. And I just want to say, well, one incident. I want to say that they performed greatly. The other night, Friday night, we had a truck, gas truck, keep going on. It was 1:30 in the morning at the old food fair place. We called up the police. Police came down. 3 cars came down. Finally, after about 20 minutes, they were able to shut this truck off. If not, we were going to call the fire department. This was 1:30 at night, so they are there for you. The other thing I want to mention, I don't know if they had mentioned it or whatever it is, just the other day, let me see if I could find it. We had an incident where there was a problem. Police put it out over the call. We had 2 policemen rush to the street and apprehend the person. But the policemen who rushed to the streets, they weren't even on duty. They were doing extra duty. They heard the thing, rushed there, and they took care of it. But like I said, the men in blue, whether it's fire department or police, I just want to congratulate them because they do a good job. Real quickly, I want to thank everyone else who won in the election. Also, I want to thank personally the 6th Ward residents who voted for me. Thank you again. That concludes it.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Minichenko.
Thank you, Council President. In the Landfill and Hawk Rides Committee, remediation was supposed to resume again today at the landfill with a projected finish date of August 24th, but due to a delay from Verizon not marking out their markings, that was put on hold. I don't know. We have to wait for Verizon to come in and do their markings so the company can come in and resume the remediation work. Also, PSE&G, they stalled. They were supposed to do solar panels there, and they kind of backed out of it. So now we're working on a proposal with Easy Energy to install solar panels at the landfill. Also in the 7th Ward, in approximately about 2 weeks, New Jersey American Water will be installing a new water main on Southwood Avenue. This is going to be from Route 1 all the way to Walter Street, which is just before the Turnpike Bridge, and also 50 feet in at each intersection. And there's no proposed finish for that, so I don't know how long that's going to take. Also, I would like to touch on a subject that the mayor touched on last month about the recycling being placed at curbside unsecured. I've also noticed residents putting out paper when it's bag leaves pickup. So can you please check your calendar to avoid this? And also, if it's windy night, maybe refrain from putting out your recycles. You know, you wake up in the morning and they're all over the neighborhood. So if it's a windy night, maybe we could put them out in the morning and avoid this mess. Also, I'd like to put out that with the trees, they are in the 6th Ward, I was told, and they're going to be coming to the 7th Ward next. And so if anybody needs a tree trimmed or a sidewalk replaced, please call me at 908-862-6265, or you can email me at mminarchenko@linden-nj.org. Because once they're out of the 7th Ward, they got to go all through the cycle again, so who knows when they're going to come back. And also I'd like to put out there, after my first 6 months in office, I'd just like to thank all the department heads, my fellow council people, the mayor, for all their help and cooperation. It's been a learning experience, and I just want to say thank you. And that concludes my report, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman. We think you're doing a great job. Councilwoman Yamakaitis?
Thank you, Mr. President. From the Fire Prevention Bureau, the Fire Prevention Bureau collected a total of $2,756.25 for the month of April 2014. The Fire Department received a donation in the amount of $150 from LaToya Edwards Bailey, the Director of Nursing from the Health Department staff at Bonnie Bray, in memory of the late retired firefighter Edward Piasek. I make a motion to accept this donation and request a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Midachinko?
Yes.
Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
The committee that volunteered to address concerns at the Linden Animal Control Facility is continuing to meet. Tonight, we officially named an ad hoc committee. Presently, we'll be revisiting the facility to see that all short-term facility issues are being rectified. The committee is also very close to making a recommendation to council regarding the long-term viability of the facility. I would like to stress that euthanizations are not being done at the facility. If a severely injured animal is picked up, it is taken directly to our vet. As for progress with this issue, I would like to share the story of Diesel, a dog that was abandoned in the 8th Ward when its owner moved out and abandoned the Diesel in the yard. With the help of neighbors, Diesel was fed and given water and turned into our animal control facility. Pictures of Diesel were immediately placed on social media looking for a home. Diesel was just placed this weekend with a foster family. However, lucky for Diesel, he entered a failed foster home and it turned into his forever home. This is a move in the right direction and a success story, and we'd like to see more of these stories coming about. I also had the pleasure of chaperoning the Linden High School Marching Band to the National Memorial Day Parade in Washington, D.C. While the band was warming up, an elderly World War II vet approached the band and Mr. Lorenzetti, the Director of Fine Arts. His name was Herman Zajac. He was accompanied by his son, who told us that he presently lives in Maryland, and he saw that the high school band was on the itinerary to march, so he walked the mall in Washington, D.C. to find Linden's marching band. When speaking to him, we found out that he was a member of the marching band. Mr. Zajac fought in Normandy, liberating Paris, the Battle of the Bulge, and the liberation of Dachau concentration camp. He received a presidential citation and received various other awards. Upon returning to Linden, Mr. Lorenzetti did some research on Mr. Zajac. He found out that he lived on Cranford Avenue in the 8th Ward and was 16 when he went into the Army. Mr. Lorenzetti also discovered that he was an 11th grade homer with my husband's aunt, Frances Yamakaitis. Mr. Zajac's parents received his diploma for him since he was in combat and overseas. However, I'm pleased to announce that Mr. Zajac will be attending the Linden High School graduation this year to receive his diploma in person so many years later, so it is a great honor for Linden. So I ask everyone, it will be televised. You'll see it on our LindenTV, so if you'd like to see him receive his diploma, please tune in. As for the 8th Ward, as my colleagues on council announced, the tree crews are in the 6th Ward. We only have to get through the 7th Ward yet till they get to the 8th Ward. It's been a long time, and everybody's been very patient, and I thank you for that. And if anybody needs a sidewalk replaced, please contact me. Milkowski and Dorothy Ford Park will be open for the playground programs beginning Monday, June 23rd from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. This is a free program, and I encourage all the youth to take advantage of this. And before I conclude, I just want to say a special thank you to Mr. Al Strydeski and former Councilman Al Youngblood for once again planting flowers and weeding at the 8th Ward Memorial on Greer Avenue and the Wanda Green Park. So if anybody needs to contact me, my telephone number is 908-925-2309. That concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Medina, please.
Yes, Council President, good evening, everyone. I have a personnel report, not that lengthy, but I want to apologize in advance if I do butcher some names here. All right, item number 1, in the police department, the promotion of Jonathan Parham and William Turbett to the rank of captain effective July 1st, 2014, at the salary of $143,339, commensurate with the collective negotiations agreement between the SOA and the City of Linden. Number 2, in the Police Department, the promotion of Abdul Williams, Michael Bobolski, Nancy Petrowski, and Joseph Cassielpo, I apologize, to the rank of lieutenant effective July 1st, 2014, at the salary of $113,831, commensurate with the collective negotiations agreement between SOA and the City of Linden. Number 3, in the Police Department, the promotion of Gail Horanek to the position of Supervising Parking Enforcement Officer at no salary change effective July 1st, 2014. And while I call these names, if you guys can stand up, we just want to congratulate you, and then you can sit back down. And if you guys want to stand up now, that'd be great, whoever's here. Thank you. Number 4, in the Police Department, the appointment of 6 candidates from the attached list subject to the successful completion of the medical, psychological, and background checks at the salary of $48,081, commensurated with the collective negotiations agreement between the PBA and the City of Linden effective July 14, 2014. Number 5, in the Police Department, the appointment of Ibrahim Hanna of Garfield, New Jersey, as an unpaid school intern effective June 23, 2014. Number 6, in the Police Department, the appointment of Camille Zielinski of Linden as an unpaid volunteer effective June 23, 2014. Number 7, in the Office of the City Clerk, amend item 13 of the personnel report from the May 20th, 2014 council meeting regarding the appointment of a student intern, Chelsea A. Liberos of Linden, to rate of $8.25 per hour, not to exceed 30 hours per week, in conjunction with the Linden Board of Education's continuing business education program, and beginning June 23, 2014 through August 31st, 2014, not to exceed 35 hours per week. Number 8, in the Division of Recreation and Public Property, the appointment of individuals for seasonal work pursuant to the attached list on file in the City Clerk's office. Number 9, in the Division of Personnel, effective July 1st, 2014, amend the sick leave donation policy to limit use of donated sick day to the employee's catastrophic illness only. Number 10, the approval of FMLA/NJFLA and furlough leaves for the following personnels. Employee 107427, 4 weeks of furlough days from May 25th, 2014 through June 25th, 2014. Employee 6134, approving donated sick time in the amount of 20 days. Number 3, employee 6134, approving unpaid furlough days for June 18th, June 20th, July 3rd, July 23rd, July 24th, July 25th, July 28th, and August 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 2014. And employee 91153 FMLA/NJFLA from June 16, 2014 through August 18, 2014. As for the approval of the Personnel Committee report, and I can seek a second.
Council President.
Councilwoman Cosby Hurley.
Can I make a comment on number 9?
Please. We need a second on the motion first?
Oh, second.
Roll call.
No, she has a comment.
Okay. So my comment on number 9, I just wanted to thank the chairman of the committee and my fellow committee member that we are finally moving in the right direction, and we are looking for clear enforcement of the existing policies, because when we first got here on council, there was a lot of gray areas and misinterpretations. So I'm just pleased that we are finally doing this so that all of the members of council are clear and that we're going to be moving our workforce in the right direction. So I just wanted to make that comment, and then we're going to vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. That takes place July 1st, 2014. Mr. Clerk?
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurley?
I'm going to vote yes to all except number 3 and number 10. Number 10 is not A, B, C, or D, but I'm voting no to number 3, yes to everything else, and no for number 10, except the first bullet, employee 107427. If that makes sense.
We,
1 second. Mr. Sadowski?
Yes.
Minichinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
yes.
Thank you. Just want to go back again and congratulate all the officers that were promoted. You guys are a prime example of this police force. I hear a lot of good things about our police force from residents, my personal experience with the police force. I guess we encourage you guys to just keep on doing what you're currently doing now, and not give it, give it another 150%. We like to see you guys out there. The residents like to see you guys out there. We feel safer, and we're glad to have you. So I just want to again congratulate you guys and on your promotion, and want to see you out there more often. So thank you. I do have a small report for the 9th Ward. We touched base on the tree crew, so it has to make it to the has to pass the 6, 7, 8 just to get to the 9th Ward. I did submit a lengthy list to DPW and their tree crew, so it's a few pages long. Hopefully they'll get to the 9th Ward, but they have been straying off and tackling the more emergent issues and trying to tackle those issues. So be a little bit more patient. They'll eventually get to us, and it will address all those trees issues. But again, if there's an emergency, you think a tree is dead, you see limbs falling, call me, 908-986-6100. I can get a supervisor out there. We could take a look at the tree, and they could make the determination whether it needs to come down or they need to do some emergency trimming or actions or whatnot. Other than that, we did approve a bond ordinance for the speed humps. I look forward to getting more feedback from our traffic bureau. We finally have the foundation in place. As Councilwoman Cosby-Hurling mentioned, there was another accident or a near miss or a hit with a young child on Dill Avenue. Roads like there's certain roads like this throughout the city of Linden that are trouble roads, are surrounding our schools and parks. So I'm glad to see that this council finally laid the foundation that will allow our police department, especially the traffic bureau, to do their job and identify these streets and place down a solution or find a solution to correct the problem. Other than that, it's hot. It's getting nicer and nicer out there. Just be safe on the road. Consider all the children, all the people that are utilizing the parks, and drive safely. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Kaczynski, please.
Thank you, Council President. First, I'd like to apologize for missing last meeting as well. Had a slight medical emergency come up. I do want to thank everybody for their well wishes. Everything's okay now, but I do appreciate it very much for everybody's concern. Second, congratulations to the newly promoted. It's the next stage in a career, and we have to, as a city, support our police department, and I'm happy that these promotions went through. Congratulations on your career, and good luck. Also, congratulations on those who won this last election and those who actually put in their name to try to run. It's an admirable, commendable feat, and I just want to wish everybody well on that front as well. 3, from the 10th Ward issue, we have a lot of overgrown grass and trees. That kind of phenomenon isn't unique to the 10th Ward, but it is recently, while the rain is growing pretty high. Most of the houses have been notified by the Board of Health, so now it's in that elongated process of getting a summons until DPW can get out there, do the lien, all that stuff. So hopefully the homeowners or the owners of most likely these vacant properties will get there and take care of their grass before that whole process has to play out. But if you do have a problem that I didn't see, feel free to give me a call and let me know. I'll give you my number at the end. For the drainage and standing water issues from the last monster rainstorms, I think Birchwood, Morristown, Windsor Road, Livingston, a couple other roads. I went around, I had pictures, and I sent them to engineering and DPW, and they're looking in. Each issue might be a different type of problem. Windsor might be the way the drainage happens. Down by Livingston, Morristown, it might be more with the actual system. But rest assured that we are looking into it. If you did have an issue and you're concerned that maybe I didn't know about it, feel free to give me a call again or let me know. Because if you let me know, I can put you in touch with either our DPW supervisor or engineer, one way or the other, and try to get the ball rolling to get some kind of solution if one is available. I would also like to congratulate and a special way to the students that are going to graduate this next week coming up. I hope you all do Linden proud going forward. I'm always, one of the proudest times when I tell people I'm a councilman from Linden is when somebody says, oh, I know a kid from Linden, he really did well, or she really cares for her community. And that's the proudest moment I have when I represent the city, so I wish them all well. And with the heat that's coming around, please stay safe. If you have a neighbor, an elderly neighbor especially, try to keep an eye on them. And if you don't want to get involved, feel free to give me a call and let me know that, there's an elderly neighbor living near you, they might be alone, and we can try to keep an eye on them. But again, the number is 908-463-9234. The email address is akaczynski@linden-nj.org. Feel free to reach out either one of those ways. And with that, Mr. Council President, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilman. I'd like to make a motion to reconsider the prior vote on ordinance 5846 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mr. Clerk?
Page 1.
Just so that all understand, the bond ordinance requires a 2/3 vote to approve. It received 7. It was 1 vote short. Mr. Kalbas?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
What's the number?
5846.
This is the Morningstar settlement.
Oh, no.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minichinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Before I vote, I originally voted no for this ordinance, but seeing that the hole that the city is in, reference to this property and the legalities behind it, I'm going to vote yes just to move it forward and get out of this mess.
Okay. Okay. Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Okay. That was a motion to reconsider. It passed. We now need to vote on the ordinance itself. We need a motion. Mr. We need a
Motion, please.
Okay, all right. Okay. This is the vote on the ordinance itself. Mr. Kalbas?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
No.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minichinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Motion, the ordinance now passes.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. We'll move into the mayor's report. You have a report for us?
Yes,
tonight?
I do, Council President. Thank you. First, as the head of the police department, I would also like to congratulate the officers, and I appreciate your patience. I know it was extremely hard to be the next person to be promoted, and there was vacancies that existed, but yet you had to wait a year, maybe even a year and a half, because last year the city didn't have the money to promote you. And also this year, with the Department of Justice lawsuit against the sergeants, we had issues and couldn't make the promotion. So again, I thank you for your patience, and now that you've been promoted, congratulations to all of you. In regards to June 30th, we're having a public hearing session here in the council chambers. It's being run by the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. The reason it's being held here is because the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey will be funding the missing link, which is where the intersection of 278 and routes 1 and 9 meet. That intersection has been a hazardous intersection for well over 20 years. It's been an engineering nightmare. We've had numerous fatalities there. And when I had gone to Drumthwacket and discussed the issue with Governor Christie, he understood the seriousness of the situation and decided, with the new Goethals Bridge money being made, being appropriated by the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, that they would also piggyback this new engineering design for 278, where there's going to be entrances and exits both on the northbound and southbound lanes. And it's going to be supervised by the Department of Transportation. What this means to Linden is not only having a hazardous intersection re-engineered for the safety of the people on Route 1 and 9, but it also means that the people in the 8th Ward and Councilwoman Yamakaitis' ward is going to have some relief on Park Avenue for all that traffic that uses it to go onto the Turnpike or the Goethals Bridge. So again, this is a total benefit for the city of Linden, costing us absolutely no money, and I thank the governor for supporting the city of Linden with the money from the Port Authority to make this happen. Also, Friday night, we have the Mayor's Youth Commission, which is sponsoring Project Graduation. Project Graduation is an event that we hold annually for our high school seniors who are graduating in the morning, and they are going to be having a all-night party that lasts till 4 in the morning so that it's a drug and alcohol-free party. It does not cost the taxpayers of Linden a penny. It's through the hard work of all the volunteers and also from our corporations that donate to the Mayor's Youth Commission, and it's something that is really a benefit to our children who are going to have one last party under the supervision of many adults who volunteer their night, and under the hard work of Reverend Donaldson, who's the president of Mayor's Youth Commission, and Dolores Hines, and all the police department volunteers that come out and assist us, especially Sergeant Petrowski, who organizes it. So this is something that we do every year, and it's a benefit to the young men and women who graduate, and it's their last time that they'll probably be together before they go into the adult world. Again, if anybody wants to volunteer, it starts 6 o'clock at the JTG Center. We hire buses. They drive to the Ricochet Racket Club in South Plainfield, where they have all the food and a swimming pool and you name it, every game you could think of, to occupy their time till 4 o'clock in the morning when the buses drop them back off in the city of Linden. So again, I'm proud of our Mayor's Youth Commission. I'm proud of Reverend Donaldson and all the volunteers that make this a eventful evening for our high school graduates. End of report, Council President.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We'll move into resolutions 2014-223 through 2014-257. Public comments will be permitted for these specific resolutions to be removed from the consent approval. Please read the synopsis of the resolutions, which have been prepared by the City Clerk's Office. Each is informative and self-explanatory. However, if you wish to address a specific resolution, the Council will entertain questions. Does anyone wish to remove any resolutions from 223 to 257? Ms. Malik. 223, 224, 226, 237, 238, 239, 252, and 254. Thank you. Yes? 238, 241, 255. Excuse me? 41 and 55. 38, 41, 55. It's hard to hear. Anyone else? Mr. Sharby. I can't hear you. 38. 41. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Ones with concerning the ethics thing where we're
What number?
paying for their, the attorney ones with the ethics ones with the council members.
What number?
One more. There's 3 on there. Those 3 reference.
You got to give me a number.
38, 30,
38,
and 39. Put that.
38, and 39.
And 41.
41? One more? Okay, thank you. Anyone else? If not, I'll ask for a motion on the remainder.
Yes, Mr. President, I move for approval for resolutions 2014-223 to 2014-257, with the exceptions of resolutions 223, 224, 226, 237, 238, 239, 241, 252, 254, and 255, and request a second.
Second. Second.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes on all, abstain on resolution 255.
Cosby Hurling? Mrs. Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Midachinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes, except for 239, I abstain. We'll ask Ms. Malik to come up on 223, please.
Simple question. What is this and why do we need this? To provide unemployment insurance tax control and go to an outside source for this?
What number?
223, the first one.
Ms. Sack?
We utilize this firm in order to handle all our unemployment instances. We've been engaged with this firm probably over close to 2 decades. We renew this every so often for our unspecifiable service agreement with them. They process and they're responsible for all the unemployment insurance tax controls. They provide also supervision of claims. They survey the coverage, the various contributions, and they make the necessary reports in order to be in compliance with the unemployment insurance.
And we don't have the capabilities of doing this in-house? I mean, it's
No.
not that much, but,
No, we do not.
okay.
Thank you. May I have a motion, please?
Yes, Mr. President, I move for approval of resolution 2014-223, and request a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Midachinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Ms. Malik on 224, please.
Even though this resolution goes back to 2002, I don't remember what the cost was at that time, but what is to do all of this, the installation, operation, and maintain the fiber optic cable? What are we talking about in terms of cost?
There is no cost involved. This is just giving them the use to the right-of-way, as had originally been provided. There's no cost to the city.
Okay.
It's allowing the use of the right-of-way.
All right.
May I have a motion, please?
Yes, Mr. President, I move for approval of resolution 2014-224, and request a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Midachinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Ms. Malik, 226, please.
Whenever you talk about maintenance of tanks and soil, the one question I have is this going to be further remediation? Is this going to be ongoing? And also, are there leaks currently with this tank situation?
Thank you. Mr. Verchik?
This is the final chapter of the municipal garage tanks. There's the new tanks are in. There's 2 old tanks, 10,000-gallon ones that are still underneath the concrete pads. The soil's been tested in place. It's not too bad, but DEP regulations say once you start digging, you have to test it again, and there's an outside chance that it might be leaking. So this firm is going to manage the soil. They're going to be out there testing gas vapors, testing all toxicities on the soil as the contractor works, and then he has to prepare reports for DEP and EPA. But after this, we're finished.
Okay, and are they going to remove that tank you're talking about, or no?
Yeah, the 2 tanks are going to be removed.
So this puts a nail in a coffin, this is done?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a motion, please.
Yes, Mr. President, I move for approval of Resolution 2014-226 and request a second.
Second. Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Medichinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Ms. Malik, on 237, please.
What are these development costs? You're talking about conducting certain community development activities.
Mr. Furchick?
These are grants that we receive from the county. We don't have 50,000 population, so we have to enter into an agreement with 19 other towns in order to get these grants.
All right, but it says for conducting certain community development activities.
Yeah,
So what is this going to be pertaining to?
It'll be our housing, rehabilitation, and our street resurfacing.
Okay. And about how much money are we talking about for this?
Well, we get about $450,000 this coming year.
Good. All right, thanks.
Motion, please.
Yes, Mr. President, I move for approval of Resolution 2014-237 and request a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Medichinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. On 238, since you've been up, Ms. Malik, we'll take you first.
I guess a couple of months ago, there was an issue with a number of council people requiring some legal services on here. So can you just refresh my memory? Because I also see that 241, Rich Koziel, I assume this is all part of the same issue? And issue is?
Mr. Attorney?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, that would be correct, ma'am. This is all part of the same issue that was raised several months ago. So,
Which is, again?
There's an ongoing investigation. At this moment in time, I'm not at liberty to discuss it any further. That being said, Resolution 238 as well as 241 would cover the same investigation.
And is there some time frame in which this is going to come to a happy ending?
Who knows when it will be concluded, but obviously at this point in time, it's ongoing.
Okay.
Mrs. Wolvendick, on 238.
Since the taxpayers are paying for it, I was wondering why we're not allowed to know. We don't have to know big details, but just general information. Is it about somebody hit somebody? I mean, just something that we know what we're spending our money on. It just is suspicious that there's so many council people involved.
Yeah, to the extent that it deals with certain potential ethics allegations. Beyond that, I'm not able to comment. This is no different than any other personnel matter. If there was an investigation of an employee of the police department or any other department, we would not be able to comment any further other than what's before you now. Obviously, at some point in time, the investigation will be complete. There may be certain findings and results made public at that time, but until that investigation is complete, unfortunately, we cannot give you any more details.
And how many council people does it involve?
Can't say.
Well, right now, it's the two resolutions before you.
Well, I see three here, 255.
well, you
I
have-
don't know if you were in that same bunch.
There's
And-
an additional resolution for Mr. Armstead as well. So those three right now have attorneys.
The ethics rules require that the Ethics Commission, until it's published, the decision is published, the fact that a complaint was filed in and of itself is confidential. They won't even comment that there was a filing. The only reason that it's before the public is to.
Oh,
is
so
to
you
deal
guys
with
don't even
attorneys.
know who's complaining against you?
Well, no. They do, but no one is allowed to comment. By the rules, no one's allowed to comment, either the complainant or any of the respondents. That's the rule. You're not even
So
allowed to
at the
comment.
end, we're going to find out the findings then?
The Ethics Commission will make it public. They published it
So
on
the
the
ethics
site.
is, as in the state,
Yes,
is involved in this?
yes.
Okay.
Councilwoman Cosby Harling, you had a comment?
Yeah, my comment is just so everyone's clear. Every seated council member from 2013 and the mayor were all listed in the complaint. So we all are going through the motions right now.
Mr. Sharpie.
Well,
On 230.
is it right for the taxpayers to have to pay for this? That's the question, Mr. Attorney. I see Mr. Hudak's not here tonight, so you're just stepping in for him, so you don't understand the law. But as far as I understand...
Mr. Sharpie, your question is?
I might like a comment, please.
But
If I commit a crime...
He
when I
does.
was when
I
was
got
on
to
city
defend the
council in
attorney.
my former town,
Mr. Sharpie,
I was
you're out of order.
responsible for my own attorney's fees. If
The
I
point- the
was
point
brought
is
up by
you-
ethics
you-
in another town, which I was a city council member, I had to pay
Your
for my
question,
own
sir.
attorney.
Your question
That
is-
is a request that I'm asking, why
Please state
us
your question.
taxpayers have to pay for your wrongdoing. That's all I want to know.
All right. But the attorney's qualified to answer the question. Mr. Attorney.
Yeah, to the extent there's a city ordinance that obviously permits and allows counsel to be retained, again, it's no different than certain other investigations against any other employee as well. But the Township Code provides for that. They're within their right to request counsel, and obviously certain individuals have requested that counsel, and they're entitled to that.
Council President, can I speak, please?
Honorable Mayor, yes.
Since Councilwoman Hurling mentioned my name, yes, I am involved in a lawsuit just like everybody else, but I refused the taxpayers to pay for an attorney. I don't need an attorney. I did nothing wrong, and I don't think the taxpayers should pay for an attorney to represent me. So I declined spending taxpayers' money on an attorney and let the Ethics Board investigate without any counsel from myself.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And if I may say, I've not requested a city attorney, and I've paid for my own representation. I'll ask for a motion, please.
Yes, Mr. President, I move for approval of Resolution 2014-238 and request a second.
Second. Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
I'll abstain.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Midichinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Now we'll move on to 239. Ms. Malik?
This issue with the council president position has been going on for some time. The only thing I'm a little confused here, in reading this, it says, Edward Kalogi, to clarify and provide that the city has been and continues to be in compliance with its charter, statute, and all the laws in the state of New Jersey with regard to the position. Why do we need this service to be done, like to continue to provide and clarify? Can someone explain this additional piece of work?
Sure. This resolution on for this evening is actually the final bill for services. This matter has concluded. So while it reads that way, this is the end of the litigation and the final bill for services.
So after this, no more, it's done?
I think this is it.
Okay, and may I ask, like, what is the final conclusion of all this effort?
Sure. This was an action, essentially a declaratory judgment action that was filed over the issue of council president, whether or not the ordinance, the statute that governs this form of government allows for the designation of council president and therefore on the ballot to be voted as council president. To the extent that Judge Cassidy ruled that the council president is a properly recognized position and it should be recognized as such on the ballot, at least had settled that issue with regard to whether or not there was some question some time ago how that procedure happened, how it became to be council president, but ultimately the court ruled that essentially what we see today is what is required.
So status quo is the way that we're going to go?
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Sharpie on 239.
Yes. But this resolution, all the way in the beginning, was brought up by certain people, which was the ones who were the majority of the council. So please let the taxpayers know who brought this up in the beginning. Be honest with the taxpayer.
Mr. Sharpie, I believe there was a vote. Thank you. Motion, please.
Yes, Mr. President, I move Resolution 2014-239 and request a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbas?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minichinko?
Yes.
Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
No.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Abstain. On 241, Ms. Wilverding? All right. Mr. Sharpie, 241, you want to say anything? Thank you. I ask for a motion on 241.
Yes, Mr. President, I move for approval of Resolution 2014-241 and request a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbas?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minichinko?
Yes.
Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 252, Ms. Malley?
I know this firm has been, this council has been, their name's been brought up many, many times, but now it reads here, various condemnation matters. Can someone be a little bit, explain a little bit more what specifically these matter, what this actually pertains to?
Sure.
Mr. Attorney?
This is Linden Property Holdings, and the resolution addresses an issue we have with regard to a certain road that has certain title issues attached to it. The city is going to be getting a piece of property from the New Jersey Turnpike Authority. That property, in connection with the approval for Linden Property Holdings, has several title issues. So what's going to happen is the property is going to be transferred to the city, at which time the city will proceed with certain condemnation proceedings to take care of certain title issues. Once we go through that process, it should be noted that this resolution, as well as the next one, 253, kind of all address the same issue, but it's important to note that this is going to be at no cost to the taxpayers to the extent that an escrow agreement is going to be prepared and executed by Linden Property Holdings. They will actually incur the cost of the attorney, the appraisal, the title, and any other costs associated with those condemnation proceedings. So while we're encumbering the money here, there will be an escrow agreement in place to reimburse, if you will,
So it kind of zeroes
the
out.
city those costs, so it doesn't cost the taxpayers any money.
And then after this is done, then we can move forward with this?
With the approval, right, from Linden Property Holdings.
So
Correct.
this is moving forward then? Okay.
Thank you. I have a motion, please.
Yes, Mr. President, I move for approval of Resolution 2014-252 and request a second.
Second.
Mr. Kalbas?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minichinko?
Yes.
Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 254, Ms. Malik?
I like that the Board of Ed has agreed to pay for the pensionable salary, but says exclusive of benefits. Why not inclusive of benefits to cover?
Mr. Mayor?
Okay, the reason being is, in the past, we've provided to officers to be patrolling the grounds of the Linden High School. The issue that we had to deal with is because of severe cutbacks in our police department to save money and stay beyond, below the 2% cap. We had to pull those officers from the school and use them on the streets protecting the public. So to have a compromise, the school wanted an officer, service officer there in their high school, and they were willing to pick up the salary. Since the school's willing to pick up the salary, and these officers are still part of the Linden Police Department, we compromised and agreed to just pay the benefits.
And you said that the 2 officers that were there originally, that was at no cost ever to the Board of Ed? This was something coming from out of the city's pocket?
That's correct, and now we only have 1 officer.
Just out of curiosity, was it ever thought in the past not to have the Board of Ed actually paying for those officers?
I don't understand your question.
Because you just said that those 2 original officers that were patrolling the school, that was actually being paid for by the city and not by the Board of Ed.
Correct.
Was it never ever thought back then to actually have the Board of Ed actually paying for that as like an employee?
Not at that time, it wasn't. Again, that's a service we provide for the Board of Ed, and again, we also gather intelligence as service officers in the school. At that time, we could afford it. Now we can't.
Okay.
Thank you very much. May I have a motion on 254, please?
Yes, Mr. President, I move for approval of Resolution 2014-254 and request a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Midachinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. The respondent to 255 has declined to speak on it. I'll ask for a motion, please.
Yes, Mr. President, I move for approval for Resolution 2014-255 and request a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Abstain.
Crosby Hur...
Mr. Council President, Mr. Armstead should not be making the motion, should be abstaining. I need a motion from another council member, please.
Okay.
May I have a motion from
Council President, I make a motion on Resolution 2014-255 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colbus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Abstain.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Midachinko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Move into ordinance on first reading, number 5848.
Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $60,000 for citywide curb and sidewalk reconstruction and authorizing the issuance of $57,000 in bonds or notes to finance part of the cost.
Thank you. Any public comments on this? Anybody wishes to speak on 5848? Seeing none, ask for a motion.
Council President, I'd like to introduce ordinance 58-48 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colobus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minorchenko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. Deputy Clerk, 5849.
Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $236,500 for improvements to the Range Road Bridge and authorizing the issuance of $226,675 in bonds or notes to finance part of the cost.
Comments, please? Motion, please.
Council President, I'd like to introduce ordinance 58-49 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colobus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minorchenko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 5850, please.
Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $330,000 for storm and sanitary sewer improvements and authorizing the issuance of $313,500 in bonds or notes to finance part of the cost.
Comments? Mr. Sharby?
Yes, once this passes next month, when will this work get done on all our sewers and storm drains and everything? Once it gets passed, when will this be done by the city?
Mr. Verchik?
City workers, when will this get done?
You get me again there.
There's no set...
No, that's for, this part is for the comments from the public and, all right, so, thank you for your comment there, sir. Motion, please.
Council President, I'd like to introduce ordinance 58-50 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colobus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minorchenko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 5851, please.
Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $440,000 for the replacement of the roof at City Hall and authorizing the issuance of $418,000 in bonds or notes to finance part of the cost.
Thank you. Public comments on that? Motion, please.
I'd like to introduce ordinance 5851 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colobus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minorchenko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 5852.
Bond ordinance authorizing the acquisition of firefighting and thermal imaging equipment, appropriating $101,640, and authorizing the issuance of $96,558 in bonds or notes to finance part of the cost.
Public comments? Motion, please.
Mr. President, I move for introduction of ordinance 5852 and request a second.
Second.
Mr. Colobus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minorchenko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. 5853, please.
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7 traffic as follows. Section 7-22.2, three-way stop intersections, add East Blanky Street and Washington Avenue.
Thank you. Public comments on this? Mr. Sharpie, 3 minutes.
Is that the intersection of Blanky and Washington Ave, where Washington ends? Make that a three-way stop? There's currently a light there.
This is the time for comments, but can we identify the intersection, please?
Yes, that's Blanky in Washington.
Right by St. Elizabeth's Church there?
That's correct.
So they're gonna eliminate the light and put just
Well,
three stop signs?
That's the location.
Okay.
Thank you. May I have a motion, please?
Yes, Mr. President, I move for an introduction of ordinance 5853 and request a second.
Second.
Mr. Colobus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minorchenko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. And 5854, please.
An ordinance approving the installation of speed humps or other calming mechanisms at certain municipal streets.
Comments from members of the public? Mr. Sharpie, 3 minutes, please.
Will there be a list of the streets that there'll be speed bumps put on? Will there be a list available?
Or-
What streets will
or-
have the speed bumps?
Will your comments?
Yeah, I just want to know what streets will be.
Bless you.
So, thank you. May I have a motion, please?
Yes, Council President, I seek the introduction of ordinance 58-54 and seek a second.
Second.
Mr. Colobus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Minorchenko?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes. We'll move into comments from the members in public in attendance on city business only. No personal, political, or derogatory comments, not to exceed 5 minutes. And I'll ask Gretchen Hickey to come up, please. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. First and foremost, I want to congratulate everyone that ran in the primary election. Win or lose, I have a new learned respect for being a candidate in the city of Linden and certainly running a campaign. Looking forward to November. And also to the 10th Ward residents, I'm extremely humbled at all the support I received and am proud of that. Thank you. Don't worry.
Lou.
What, are we counting minutes already?
Go ahead.
On behalf of the Cultural Committee, I have a couple of announcements. First and foremost, next month we have a play that will be at Linden High School, All Shook Up, which is directed by Howard Whitmore. Last year's play was a huge success, and for all of those that did not make the attendance to the play, it is extremely close to a Broadway show. It's a great thing to take your family to. It's inexpensive, and it really shows what Broadway, the similarities to it. That'll be on July 18th, 19th, 24th, 25th, and 26th, and July 20th. The tickets are $15 for adults, and students and under 18 are $12. If you would like tickets, please call 908-925-7619, and they'll be happy to reserve tickets for you. I would like to thank Amici's restaurant in Linden. They've been kind enough that during the rehearsals for our Mystic Vision Players cast, they have let them use the accommodations downstairs for their catering hall to have their practices almost 3-4 nights a week, and hasn't charged us a penny. And I really just think that is really outstanding, considering the fact that everywhere we've gone over the years, they've wanted payment and so forth and so on. So again, I'd really like to thank Amici's of Linden and anybody that supports them. Really, they're good people there. The second thing is Linden September to Remember. We are on for Saturday, September 27th. We're holding to the last Saturday of the month in September's now. This year, we're also going to add motorcycles. Every year, we're trying to add a little bit more and few more things for children and families. And we are still looking for vendors. Anyone that would like to sign up for Classic Car Show, for the motorcycle, to be a vendor or a food vendor, you can go to www.linden-newjersey.org, and you would be able to get any applications that are needed on there. I would also, last thing, I just saw in the meeting minutes, I would like to just congratulate Alex Lospinosa to the LEDC, being on the board at the LEDC. I'm looking forward to working with you, and I'm sure I'll see you at the next meeting. Besides that, I hope everybody has a great summer. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Jack Lou Williams, please.
Jacqueline Williams, 8th Ward. Good evening, everyone. Members of the City Council, Council President, and Mayor. Before I begin, I also would like to congratulate those who ran in the primary race and won, even those who did not win. Rashana, I really do think that you ran a good race, even though there was a low turnout. Both you and Derek really did a good job. I have a comment about the dogs in St. Mark's Park. I am a dog lover. However, I do believe in obeying rules when it comes to your dog. There are people who are still not cleaning up after their dogs, especially along the Husser Street side of St. Mark's Park. We also still have folks coming from I don't know where, bringing their dogs into St. Mark's Park, especially in the morning. They seem to like to give their dogs an early morning run. I believe some years ago I may have suggested that we have a dog park. I know someone said that there's already one, probably on the other side, closest to the highway, but we really do need one in the 8th Ward because there are a lot of dog owners. And I was thinking about maybe sectioning off a portion of the park by School 4. So there's a lot of open space over there that's not really being fully utilized, that maybe people can take their dogs there. I saw one young man with 2 pit bulls, beautiful dogs, but they were in the park without a leash on them at the same time where children were playing. And I left out my house because, of course, I have 2 children myself, and informed them that, dogs really are not allowed. And unfortunately, it's hard to get them to understand that because someone tore down the sign that says dogs are not allowed. So we do have some new residents in the community who do not know, may not be aware of that, and I think we need to take certain measures to make sure that they do know no dogs are allowed At the same time, I would like to ask City Council to consider making a portion of the park closest to School 4 an area where people can walk their dogs. Some of you may or may not know that I am also a tree lover, which is why I regret to inform you that one of the trees closest to, again, the Husser Street side of St. Mark's Park has been completely broken down. How these folks broke the tree, I don't know, but they broke it close to the base, the root of the tree. I know often I see children swinging off of the tree. Why? I don't know. We have ran some children away and told them to get down off the tree, especially my mother. She's an even bigger tree lover than I am. So it's really disappointing to see how the City Council has taken measures to beautify our neighborhood, and we have people coming around doing things like this, tearing it apart. So I would just like to ask some of our residents, be a little bit more considerate. If you know that you have unruly children, don't let them in the park by themselves. Maybe they need a little bit supervision. Also, I had a question. I signed my daughter up for camp this year, my youngest daughter, and I went to the orientation, and it kind of disturbed me when I heard the announcement about how the camp counselors are not trained to do CPR. Now, I have taken courses about maybe 2 years ago to become a child care provider at one point in time when I was thinking about going into that business. And the state requires child care providers to know CPR. So if these folks are going to be taking care of our children or watching our children, I should say, even for a short period of time, I think it would be beneficial for them to take the CPR class. I know when I took it, it was about $35. Maybe if the city would consider having a professional come in and use a large room where many of the camp counselors can come, I'm sure that, I believe it was the 4Cs organization who actually recommended the CPR trainer. He does a really good job. I really think we should make that a requirement for camp counselors. Thank you.
Council President?
Councilwoman Minichenko?
Ms. Williams, as a liaison to the Shady Tree Commission, I will pass that information on to the chairman for you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Mr. President?
Mrs. Yamakaitis?
Yes, Ms. Williams, I will also talk to Mr. McDonald about more signs in the park with the dogs. I know it is an issue, okay? And any other concerns, please give me a call, okay?
Councilwoman Cosby Hurley?
With regard to CPR, before I was even on council, that was a concern because my children attended the camp. Mr. McDonald will tell you that his position is that it's a liability for the city for them to have CPR. So that's where that stood 5 years ago, and I don't know if you want to make a comment, Mr. McDonald, with regard to your position. Okay.
Through the chair, Madam Councilwoman.
I apologize. I'm just saying it was talked about. We actually have defibrillators actually in the rec centers, and no one knows how to use them. So it's something that is in the department.
Thank you. And we'll ask the department head to look into that.
He said no.
I will ask you to look into it. Thank you. Mr. Sharpie, 5 minutes, please.
Paul Sharpie, residing at 315 2nd Avenue. Congratulations to all the winners in this past primary election. Now, kids riding on bikes.
Thank you, Mr. Sharpie.
And kids having licenses. You know, you're walking down the sidewalk, you don't expect a bike to come riding up alongside you. You know, if you're walking and go this way, also, kid goes by on a bike. And is there a requirement if you're riding a bike that you have a helmet? Is there an age limit? I think if you ride a bike, it's just like a motor vehicle, motorcycle, you're supposed to have a helmet on. And does this city not require licenses on bicycles? Isn't it? I know I had my daughter register their bikes in case it would get stolen out of my backyard or in front of my house. You know, it's a moving vehicle. You know, you wouldn't like your mother walking down the sidewalk and all of a sudden getting run over by a kid on a bike, would you? I know I wouldn't. You know, maybe you'd like to get run over, you know, and especially if the kid is drunk or high, and he gets on his bike and he's, you know, he's distributing drugs, and don't tell me you don't know it, don't go on, it does. You know, and crime's not down. If you can go and say this crime is down in this city with juveniles and everything, you're calling yourself liars. You know, I see it in my park. I see a kid in a bike. He goes, picks it up. I see it downtown here. Nobody sees nothing. Look the other way. Well, if that's the way you want your city to be, go ahead. Maybe you like living this way. I know I don't. You know, look the other way. Well, let it happen to your child. Let your child wind up with an addiction, be allergic to heroin, be addicted to this, or even be allergic to alcohol, and you get a disease. Maybe you like that. You know, I'm tired of it. You know, maybe you just can go along with it, but I'm going to stay around. I'm going to make another run. The Board of Ed this time again. Maybe I can get some changes over there. You know, I'd even snow for nothing.
Council
But
President,
that's it.
out of
That's all I
order.
got.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have a bike license ordinance?
No, we do not.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay.
Council President, just one comment.
Councilman?
Mr. Shoppy, if you see this drug activity going on, why don't you report it? It seems like you're turning the other way also. I mean, all you got to do is pick up the phone. You have a cell phone. If you see this drug activity, transactions going on, call the police department. I'm sure they'll respond. Well, you're saying that we're turning our cheek, we're turning our head the other way. You're doing the same thing.
Thank you.
Council President, I'm sorry, I just want to make one
Councilman
comment to
Medina.
Mr. Shappy here, and I'm going to make this really, really brief.
Thank
When
you.
you make a comment about the children and you don't want to see them being addicted, one thing I have to say about Linden, when I talk to people about Linden, I'm so proud of this city, how many programs we have for our children. We offer a lot of services for children in this city. I know you're concerned about bikes and being run over by bikes. I'm trying to not get hit by a car when I walk my dog in the morning. And we have so many examples of actual incidents of vehicles with pedestrian incidents in this city that we're trying to take care of. But when you make comments about children and being addicted to drugs, you don't want to see them. We have a lot of programs, but at the end of the day, we need to continue to work as a community. And if you see something, say something. You have the mayor's number, you have the non-emergency number. Call someone, we'll look into it. If you want someone to have your back, I'll have your back. If you see something illegal, say something. If you don't say anything, we can't fix it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. The following council meetings will be as follows. Council conference meeting Monday, July 14th, 2014 at 6 p.m. in the council conference room, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. Council conference meeting prior to the council meeting Tuesday, July 15th, 2014 at 6 p.m. in the council conference room, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. Council meeting Tuesday, July 15th, 2014 at 7 p.m. in the council chambers, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. I ask for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Mr. Colobus?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Armstead?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Medichenko?
No.
Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Kaczynski?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes, and good night, everyone.